I'm curious, what do you think about what Azealia Banks said about Australia?
Oh, man. Yes. So for those who don't know, Azealia Banks has been in an ongoing feud with Australia since she got, I guess, underpaid by some dodgy club promoters. And she cut loose yesterday on Instagram with a provocative statement. It's always provocative with Azealia Banks. I've got some excerpts from it. She called Australia the most culturally stale white nation on the planet. She said the music that comes from Australia is unimportant. And then she interestingly said Australians miss the correlation between the government's purposeful ethnic cleansing of native people and their inability to produce music anyone cares about. Now, I got to say, with everything Azealia Banks says, there is truth in it. She's perceptive. Look, the basics of this statement are true. Anywhere that mistreats their Indigenous people will have a more stale culture. And Australia, I grew up in Australia and it was a very homogenized white culture. But it's not just music and art that's affected. Like, I believe that when you silence the Indigenous voice in a country, it goes hand in hand with like unchecked capitalism, destroying the climate, misogyny, like all kinds of other offenses. So basically what she's saying is like pretty much true, I would agree with. However, I think she's also displaying American cultural imperialism, where she's only judging cultural value based through the lens of American eyes. And I think American-centric thinking is like so many American artists are guilty of that. Unless you are actively lauded by the culture here and contributing to the GDP, what you're doing has no value. And I think that's pretty up because art doesn't only exist or have value when it's valued by America. I think art can exist in tiny micro subcultures and in community centers and in smaller, more fragile ways that this type of thinking doesn't at all value. We can't only value culture if America values it. Of course, I'm a total hypocrite. I didn't stay in Australia building cultural micro-communities. I came to play the big game and came to America because I fell in love with American culture. But as I've grown and matured, I've realized that that's not the only way of looking at art. So basically, I just wanted to say, as always with Azealia Banks, thank you and you for making me think.
Thank you, Ben. And let's give someone else a chance to stand on the soapbox in Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, if you get that reference.
Together we're weirder together.